Hello and welcome back. In the last section, we actually set up the initial version of the landing page using the layout framework, and now we have to put a little more muscle into the landing page component itself. Right now, we're just taking in some literal here called landing page, which is something that we want to build up on. Right? So let's go ahead and do that. Inside of landing page here right now, landing page component on the left hand side in the code editor. I'll get rid of this literal landing page and save it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new section here. Okay. And this section is going to have a couple of things, and one of which is essentially it is going to have a hrun. And let's see, it's going to be having an hrun tag, hrun header tag. And that's going to be having our, if you go back here, it's going to be the company logo itself, the Indie Cafe, right? So let's go ahead and do that. And what I'm going to do is Indie Cafe, okay, and this is going to be an egrave, ampersand, and semicolon, okay? Let's see what we get here. Okay, we're getting something in here, not bad at all, but it's not really visible nicely. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit of inline styling here. I'll say style is equal to. So let's first change the color. Okay, I'm going to say color is equal to there. And that's going to be hyphen primary hyphen orange. Alright. Let's see what happens now. Okay, it's coming up as orange. Not bad. We'll take it for now. And we also want a font family here, a slightly bolder font. So I'll say font family is equal to Roboto bold. Yeah, that's what you get here, right? So we'll probably have to have a slightly shady background for it to be a little highlighted here, but we'll take it for now. And right after this, what we're going to do here is we're going to have a paragraph, okay? And inside the paragraph, I'm going to have, inside the paragraph, I'm going to have a button, okay? Because if you look back to the reference app, there is a button here. I'm going to essentially mirror that particular style. And let's say I'm going to have a button here. With class name of button and button warning, and this is again to get that orangish color button, right? And let's close the button for now, and let's close the button here. And in this one we'll be essentially having a label of explore. So let's say explore and see what happens right now. Yeah, we do have an explore button here. And after the button, we want to continue the paragraph here and say our offers, and enjoy the savories. Okay? Enjoy the savories. Oops. Okay, super. Alright, not bad at all. We'll improve on top of that, not a problem. And then we'll also have some styling here for the P tag for the button itself. So let's go ahead and have some custom style for the button. It's like now it's looking a little, not looking very expressive, right? So I'll say I'm gonna have a button with the padding of, with a little bit of padding, of course. So I'm gonna have a padding of horizontal, let's say 5px. Okay, let's see how it looks. Oh. Padding all around? No, it's not looking good. This is not horizontal padding. Apparently, this is actually padding all around. Alright, and then I'll make it a vertical padding of 5px, and let's give it 20px horizontal padding so it looks a little wider. Okay, super. That's what I wanted. Okay, alright. And then also want a font weight of bold. Okay. Alright, looks good. And I think the color is looking fine. What about the margin? We also want a little bit of margin here. So let's give it a margin. Give it a margin. So let's say a horizontal margin of 3px and a vertical. No, this is a vertical margin of 3px and a horizontal margin of 10px. Oops, I need this inside of single quotes. Okay, let's see. All right, it's looking pretty nice. And what else can we do here? We also want to make sure we have another paragraph here. So let's go ahead and put that. After this paragraph, we'll open another paragraph. It's not the copyright. And I'll say home deliveries under 30 minutes flat. All right, that's coming out all right. And the thing that we want to do is we also want to make sure this section actually has a different color. Right now it's not coming out as expressively as it should, so we may have to look into that a little bit. And then if I click on the link, it doesn't go anywhere right now. Okay, so just, you know, it has no direction, it doesn't go anywhere, and it's something that we need in the future, but let's go ahead and code up for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this in a link tag. Okay, so which means I have to go ahead and import the link from React Router DOM. Let's go ahead and import that. Import, I'm going to be a link. Okay, from, right now it's just a non-existent link, but it'll come to life in some future lecture. Okay, this is going to be a link from React Router DOM. Okay, super. And let's go ahead and wrap the Explorer between a link. This is going to be a link tag. Let's open a link tag here. That's closed, and I'll get the Explorer inside of the link tags. Okay, and this is going to be linking to our browse catalog. Okay, which is something that we need to build, right? And that's something that's planned to build in the future. Okay, and what else can we do? Can we do some styling here? Okay, style. Not sure why we got this one. We may have to essentially go ahead and, can we say style and say color to, let's say, inherit. Okay, yeah, it's inherited the color of the component, of the parent component. Okay, that's what we wanted. You could also actually make it white. How about white? Let's say percent FFF. Oh, not bad actually. Okay, we'll retain it like that. We'll probably go back to inherit. Retain the inherit. Okay, super. So this is looking good right now. But what we also want to do is we also want to have a menu right below this, right? And before we can do that, we also want to have a backdrop for this one, right? So backdrop is something that will give additional shade so that the contents in the foreground looks much more expressive, right? So let's go ahead and see how we can do that. And for that, we will need we'll need a new class for that, right? Which is called backdrop, and we also have to incorporate that in our layout wiring, right? So let's go over to the landing page, and in here, I'll go ahead and say backdrop is equal to true. And which means I'll also have to go ahead and make sure I get that property here, right? In the main, say backdrop. Okay, props.backdrop. Okay, and inside of main, I will have to make use of the backdrop here. So what I'm going to do is inside of main, I'll say where I'm calling the container fluid. I'll say if the backdrop is true, then I want the backdrop class as well. Otherwise, it's just a container fluid. I'll just make it a little more dynamic in nature. So let me go ahead and cut this. Okay, class name is going to be if. So let me go ahead and destructure another property, which is going to be backdrop. Okay, and in here, I'll say if backdrop is true, what do I need? I will need backdrop for sure. Otherwise, I will need the container fluid alone, right? This is again a backdrop and coupled with the container fluid. Okay, the container fluid is the common denominator there, and backdrop is the additional class. Okay, super. So let's see what happens now if we save this. Nothing much happened. Maybe we're not passing the backdrop here. We are passing the backdrop. But we don't have the backdrop class defined right now. Okay, so let's head over to the main.css. Okay, right here. I'll say backdrop. Okay, say backdrop here. Define a backdrop class, and I'll say for the backdrop, the background is going to be not the background image. Background is going to be, oops. Okay, and this is going to be an RGBA combination. Okay, I'll say RGBA. Okay, and I'll say 0, 0, 0, 0.4 for the extent of shading. And let's see what happens now. Oops. I hope it actually, I don't think we have given it a width right now, so let's see if we give it a width of 100%. Okay. Yeah, it does give you a backdrop right now, I think. Or it doesn't. Actually, it should be giving us a backdrop width of 100%. Let's see if class name is backdrop. We need a backdrop and a container fluid, or the container fluid only, right? So that's the conditional logic that we have down there. It's div is equal to class name. I'm sure backdrop here is, let's console log the backdrop. Maybe that's going to give us some idea in terms of whether it's actually set or not. So I'm going to say backdrop. Okay, that's one way we can check that. Let's look at the console right now. Hopefully it is saying backdrop is undefined. Main.js 17, yes, it is undefined. So which means we're not passing it down the path. Props.backdrop. I thought title is equal to this. Okay, I think there is some problem here. We actually put it in the wrong place. Oh my goodness me. We actually need to put it in here. Let me collapse the sidebar. We need to put it in the props area. Let's see. Alright, there we go. So we actually get the backdrop, which essentially is the it actually also ended up changing some of our layouts. I think we can fix that, but we do have the backdrop in here. So probably we can change a few things here to the backdrop. So we have a width component. Do we need it? Control X. Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's going to inherit the width by default. You can also give it a padding because we have a padding for the main as well. So let's say 20px. No, didn't say much. Let's say width is equal to 100 viewports. Didn't do much either. So essentially it is not covering the whole thing. So we'll have to check what's happening here. Okay. So let's take a quick break here and come back and see how we can actually rearrange this stuff and also take it to the next level, which is to actually get the menu and all the other items here on the landing page. Okay, take a break, take a pause here, come back quickly.